Fenway Park, the oldest ballpark in the country and home to one of the most historic franchises in the game, the Boston Red Sox. For 86 long years, it held a terrible curse, the curse of the Bambino. It started back in 1918 after the Red Sox had just won their third World Series in 4 years. Then they decided to trade Babe Ruth, one of the best players ever, to none other than their rivals, the New York Yankees. After that, the Red Sox and their fans encountered 86 years of lackluster seasons and heartbreak until the curse was reversed in 2004. For every fan, the story of the 04 Sox and one of the greatest comebacks in sports history starts in a different place.
Well, my World Series saga started in 1986. I was 16 years old.
Starts at birth. I was born into being a Red Sox fan, and it wasn't a fun journey. I won't lie to you. I have some great memories going to Fenway Park and rooting for my team every year, but like all the rest of us growing up in that time, it usually ended in not in the best way.
I remember as a kid always watching those teams, and when I was young and maybe not the most successful franchise in sports, and then as I got older and the years went on, the team always had hope and never really achieved the levels that all the fans wanted it to.
I think I was probably 10 or 11. I remember specifically there's this one summer day. My dad was happy to be watching a game on TV, and I just wanted to hang out with him, and I sat down, and I think I was just so captivated by the whole thing.
It was a World Series where the ball went through Bill Buckner's legs.
Little roller up along first, behind the bag, it gets through Buckner. Here comes Knight, and the Mets win it.
I went to bed crying that night.
I know, you never forget crying at the end of the 86 World Series when Marty Barrett struck out. It was a rough journey.
And the old adage at that time was, the Red Sox killed my grandfather and now they're coming after me.
The hangover from 03 when they lost in the ALCS.
So in 2003, I was a sophomore at Suffolk, and the Red Sox made the American League Championship Series. Game 7 against the Yankees in the dorms on Tremont Street, very nervously pacing back and forth.
One of my best friends, Jim Jolly, who I'd suffered with for years. In fact, he and I went to the game in Yankee Stadium the year before when they left Pedro in, and we were there. We were there when they lost the ALCS.
It's Aaron Boone to lead off. His first at-bat of the game. There's a fly ball deep to left. It's on its way. There it goes. And the Yankees are going to the World Series.
And then we lost that game. And I remember just leaving the dorm and walking around the city. I walked to the north end. I walked all around just aimlessly with no real destination to go. And you kind of had that, you saw a lot of other people doing the same thing. I remember walking by a guy and we just kind of, shrugged and didn't say anything, but kept walking.
This was the next chapter in my book, and there were lots of chapters that kind of took you to the high and then dropped you down off a cliff.
We had this identity of being cursed and being losers and coming this close.
That feeling of jubilation when they finally pulled it off also holds a very special place in many hearts.
Yeah, it made it special, especially looking back on it. I can remember jumping up and down, hugging them the whole bar, hugging each other, strangers.
I mean, it was indescribable. I still kind of have chills thinking about it and talking about it now.
Yeah, the 04 team has such a special place in my heart. Mainly the biggest reason why is I believe it was in 2003. My dad was diagnosed with lung cancer. It was kind of crazy how much of a parallel I felt with that team, and then as my dad sort of started his treatment and kind of battling this thing, crazy enough, the Red Sox were also sort of battling this curse, this sort of thing that was being held over their heads for so long.
Game 1, I was fortunate to be here. Okay, when Bellhorn hit the home run that put them up, you felt a collective sigh within the stadium that we're going to win this game, and not only are we going to win the game, we're going to win the World Series.
I remember Johnny Damon hitting that home run, and that was probably the most exciting and jubilant I got even after they won it. That was just because then it became a reality
It was an unbelievable experience. Actually, when we won for Game 4, I was in the North End watching with friends. And then I remember going around in the city, and it was the exact opposite of the 2003 experience. When I passed that guy and we didn't say anything, I was passing everyone, and it was just pure jubilation in the city. Like hugging people you've never met before, and like...
February of 2004, in Game 3 of that Yankee series, the ALCS, the Sox got absolutely hammered. They lost something like 18-4. And I'm feeding my son in his high chair afterwards, and I'm starting to talk to him. And I'm really talking to myself. It was more sort of like a therapeutic session. And I said, Aiden, this is the first chapter in your Red Sox book. But what did I know? As soon as I got through that conversation, they ripped it off again. And he has experienced nothing but wins since he was born.
But the emotion everybody felt for people like my generation, everything we lived through, we'd play well until August, and then we'd fall apart.
You know, he would always kind of say to me, "Kid, I can't go yet. You know, we gotta see them win it first. We gotta see them win it together." So yeah, I was losing my mind, and it was so funny. I remember my mom was like, "Why are you yelling at the TV? Is something wrong?" I was like, "Mom, no, it's a good thing. This is amazing." And I was, you know, we were both screaming, and it was amazing because we just knew the impact that they had, and you know, the curse was gone. It was lifted. It was...
People your age don't understand. I mean, you've lived through a period when everybody won.
That first one, 04, yeah, I'm not sure that it got bigger than that.
Today, as fans, we are spoiled with multiple World Series wins and championship parades. Was the curse even real? Who's to say? But one thing is for sure, no one will forget the 2004 World Series champion, Boston Red Sox.